Hey, I'm John Grease III, and I'm the founder of Garazian Life Media. I am so honored to introduce you to our next guest, Heaven Duval Cox, aka the Sandbag Queen. She's a contributor to our magazine, and she is all about helping you train rugged. You meet her right after this. Heaven, it is so awesome to talk to you. I've been wanting to talk to you ever since you did that Technique Tuesday video for us on Instagram.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited about this time that we get to share.
So first of all, why the Sandbag Queen? First of all, you train with more than a sandbag. So why did you choose that particular training tool to kind of attach your identity to?
I love this question. I'm so glad that you asked this question because it's true. I do train with weights. I run, I use a cycle, the stationary bike. I'm not opposed to any way that you can be active. However, about a year and a half ago, I started training for a Spartan race. And my husband and I were training together, and we are like, well, we don't really have anything, like we just lift weights, and I taught group fitness classes, and like we didn't have a way to really get ready for a Spartan race because it's so different. And the easiest way for us to do that was to get a sandbag. And so we did some research, we bought a sandbag, and we started training for this Spartan race. And about 3 or 4 months into the training and using the sandbag, I just fell in love with it. I connected with that form of fitness in a way that I had not with weights or with the bike or anything else. So I decided one day, I was just like laying on our floor mat doing my workout, and I thought, I just want to be the sandbag queen. I love this thing so much. I want to be the sandbag queen, and I want to grow a platform for moms specifically, but anybody who wants to join in on the journey. I want to grow a platform for moms to fall in love with fitness. And I think this is a really great way to do that because it's functional, it's affordable, and it's convenient. Like when you're going on vacation or, you have to be away, you could take it with you, and it eliminates excuses. And that's what I loved about it. Because when you have the sandbag, if you're watching and you've never used a sandbag, it's very shifty in the weight. And so you're constantly trying to compensate for that, the sand shifting and moving, and just the way that you hold it and everything about it is more functional and more lifelike than a barbell or a kettlebell or anything that's really, a solid piece of iron. It feels different when you're throwing up. Even just 25 pounds of the sandbag is so much harder than say 40 or even 50 pounds of a barbell, because as you throw it up, it's coming at you. There's less control. You have to control it more. And so there's an aspect of that I connected with. It's like you have to use your mind a lot more to connect your body to the weights.
It makes sense though, because specifically the style of the sandbag that you sell on your site is shaped more like a human body, or a small,
Exactly.
small human body, which
Exactly.
So it makes sense to me that you're saying that you do a lot of stuff with moms, because the sandbags you have are roughly the dimensions of a small child. And so I noticed when I was training people when I was coaching people in my first job out of college, it's in 1995, back in the dark ages, before before Instagram and other social media. But I remember a lot of the people that came in for training would be moms, and they didn't have the strength to do tasks involving their kids. So it's not that they couldn't do it, but that their body took a toll on their body. So they're picking their kids up, multiple times a day. They start having back issues or whatever. They're like, oh, I can't do this. And I actually had a class of grandmothers who had issues with that too, because they want to lift up their grandkids. They're like, oh, and so they're like, I can't play with my grandkids. And so I actually had a seniors class, and their functional goal across the board was to just be able to have a normal life, which was inspiring and sort of heartbreaking too. Like I'm teaching women how to squat down to be able to sit in a chair again, right? Instead of just kind of bend your legs and fall, like squat down into a chair. How to get on the ground and get back up so they could play with their grandkids. They're like, I got a baby grandkid, a toddler. I want to get on the ground and play with them, but I don't know if I'll be able to get back up. So we're going through that. And I'd like to be able to pick up my grandkids without hurting myself. So we had to do stuff like that. And at the time, we didn't have sandbags.
Right.
The closest I had was, because I did martial arts, we did a lot of the things that people do today with sandbags. We did it with our heavy bags. So we'd have like these 6 foot tall Muay Thai bags. We're picking them up, slamming them and everything else. I'm just going to tell you right now, I was not confident enough to have these senior citizens picking up a 150-pound banana bag and throw it. I was not ready for that. I mean, emotionally, I wasn't ready for that. So we had to do most of our stuff with like a barbell. We do stuff like maybe unstable loads. I had like tricks I would do. So I take 2 sets of collars per side so that the plate would slide as you're moving it around. Right. But now you can just use a sandbag and it takes up a lot less room. So I'm completely a fan of sandbag training. I've got sandbags here at the house. One thing I do want to know is, what is it that you prefer about the sandbags with the handles versus the ones that don't have handles?
Honestly, just because you can do a lot. You can do a lot more. You know, I do lifting with it too. So I'll do my bicep workout, my back workout, a little bit of chest and shoulders. Like you have a lot more range with what you can do when you have the handles. So, and when I'm running with it, holding the handles really helps. I have run with just the filler bag. So there were no handles and I was just holding on to the little tabs at the end. And I did not prefer that. that was
that's
not
kind of murder
fun.
on your grip.
It was like, if you want to grow your grip strength, go for it, baby. But if you want to get a good run with the bag, use the handles.
A lot of stuff that you post on your website has to do with, and on your Instagram, has to do with mindset. And I love what you posted for Thanksgiving, where you were instead of just saying Happy Thanksgiving like everybody else was posting, you reached out to people who may be struggling over the holidays because they may have lost a loved one or something like that. And you've posted a lot about challenging events from your past. You nearly drowned when you were kneeboarding as a kid. You came close to suicide a few years ago. Are these experiences why it matters so much to you to reach out to people who may not see their own value?
Gosh. I mean, the quick answer is yes. That is what drives me. But just being able to come out of those experiences on the other side and being able to see what it was that maybe caused some of it, and knowing that there is a way through it is really what drives me to share those things, because honestly, those things are not easy to share. And anybody who shares stuff like that knows that it's not really what you want to showcase about yourself. It's a lot easier to showcase the good stuff, to show the 6-pack abs and not the skin that's left over from having babies. It's a lot easier to just say like, mind over matter and choose this, choose how you want to live this day, and all of those motivational quotes, which I'm a fan of and I love, but that's not where the real change happens. And that's not where the real mindset shift occurs. So my willingness to share those little pieces of my life, it is really to show people that you can come out of whatever darkness you're in, and you can come out stronger. And it's not in spite of the darkness, it's because of the darkness. Because if you didn't feel that darkness, if you didn't know that darkness, you wouldn't know what good is. You wouldn't know what the good feels like without the bad. And so it's just highlighting the contrast, I think, is what's really important to me. And understanding that you're not going, as much as I love fitness, you're not going to fix yourself with fitness. You're going to fix yourself with your mind and your mindset. And fitness is a piece of that mindset. And so that's why I post a lot about the mindset stuff, because I think a lot of people they know it, like it's in their head and it's like floating around somewhere, this idea of hope and healing and, being able to process the pain. But until people start speaking that life to them, there's no pathway for them to really take. And so that's where that really comes in.
I think that hits hard with women. I mean, I think men have a slightly different challenge.
Absolutely.
But I think I know that that hits hard with women because you guys are challenged to sort of do everything, right? So you have this pressure on you. And to be honest with you, I'm as a man, I can tell you right now that I and the men that I know aren't putting this pressure on our wives, okay?
Right.
But you all have this you think that we think that you should be doing it, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, so sometimes, for example, if you haven't had a workout, cooked breakfast, done all the laundry, had the kids all look perfect, and you're out the door to go to work on time, plus you've made motivational quotes for Instagram, and your hair and clothing all look perfect, well, then you're a failure. You're obviously a failure for that day, right? And none of it, and like as a guy, I'm like, are you kidding me? That's not even, that's insane. Because the way I look at it is like, well, if you're doing all that stuff, like when are we having time for us to just hang out, right? And that's how
Yeah.
guys are like, hey, there are times when I just want you to hang out with me. But women, and this is again as from perspective of somebody who's been married for almost 17 years.
Congratulations.
Oh yeah. My wife and I, we've been together 19. We're coming
That's
up on our
awesome.
17-year anniversary. Oh yeah, that's I was about to say that's my buddy, but she is my buddy, but she's
Yeah,
also, you know,
sure.
like not just my wife. She's, you know, and actually kind of that relates to what we're talking about. Is like I enjoy just spending time with her, but I know that when we're spending time together, a lot of times it's hard for her to just be in the moment. Like we're just there, whereas she's thinking, okay, I got to do this, I got to do this, I got to do this. Like she's got like her checklist, right? So I can see how that would be like kind of brutal over time. It looks to me like sometimes women are just like, the heck with it, you know, and you just decide what things you're going to just let go of. Either that or you are crying on the inside while you look perfect on the outside. You know what I mean? So with that, let's talk about your brand. Because you've got this thing that you're offering people who need it. So just tell me about it. You've got Sandbag Queen Academy, you got an online store, you got a YouTube channel. Where should people go if they, like, where should they start? There's a lot. So where should people start if they want to know more about your brand?
I think Instagram is the best place to, know more about me and what I'm doing, and my desire to help other people is really Instagram, because I'm there the most. I'm more active on that platform than any other area. The Academy is very baby. It's in its baby stages. So I had to have the website up for the focus group that I'm taking through the developments of the Academy. So that is, I'm hoping to have that launch in the next few months, like at the beginning, towards the beginning of the year, maybe February or March, for people, just the public, so to speak, to become a member of that. But my goal for that, if I were to just break it down really quickly, would be to show women, and it is geared specifically towards women. I do not see men taking this course at all. We talk about hormones and rest and kids. And like, we talk about stuff that really is geared towards women and moms, because that's my passion. And so it's 12 weeks, ideally, of identifying what one or two areas of your health are holding you back the most. Now, you might have 5 or 6 areas holding you back, but what one or two are really like your sticking point, and it's just like you can't move past this area, whether it be your nutrition, your motivation for working out, your sleep, your hormones. Hormones are a huge deal that people don't talk about nearly enough, and how much they impact your mental states and your fat loss efforts and your sleep. Like, it's just crazy that women, they don't know what they don't know. And there's a lot of information out there right now. So my goal is to take all of this stuff that I've learned over the years through my own journey, through working with other women over the years as a coach and a personal trainer, and compile it into this nice package that really will open their eyes to see what is possible for them when they have the right information and the right mindset to start or continue their journey to health.
It sounds like you're basically almost mentoring women. Like you're taking them, or like the Bible would call it discipling. Like you're saying, okay, look, I'm going to help you become a more complete person.
Whole health.
Whole health. All right. So it's more of a holistic approach. So
Absolutely.
Someone may come to you and they say, look, well, you may have somebody come to you and just says I'm a mess, but you also might have somebody come and say, hey, look, I just want to get in better shape. I need to fit in this dress. Right. Yeah. Is that the kind of person that this academy is going to be for? Or would you say, okay, probably I'm not right for you. Let me refer you to someone else.
I would explain to that person, if they're ready, please understand that even if you fit into that dress for that occasion, chances are you're going to gain it back if you don't do the work underneath. If you don't do that mental work to keep it off, you're just going to be looking for a trainer in the next year or two anyways again. So I'm always very open and honest and like, hey, understand this because I've been down that road more than once, twice now. It's not worth it. It's to just say, oh, I'm going to lose 10 pounds, lose it, and then gain it back. Like, what's the point of that? So I would love to be that person for you, that trainer, that help, that coach. However, if all you really want is to lose the weight, go ahead and find somebody else who is going to give you that result. And when you want whole health, I'm your girl.
All right. So when the pandemic started, we offered some free home workouts. I mean, for the most part, people weren't really into that, but you're offering them on your YouTube channel, right? Do you use those as are those going to be part of like the Sandbag Queen Academy? So it's like, hey, this is an example of what you'll get from me if I were to be coaching you, or is it just, or are those actual tutorial videos from the Sandbag Queen Academy?
Well, okay, so the first reason I started doing those was to be kind of like a hook, in marketing, when you're talking about growing your email list and marketing and all of that stuff, you want something that draws people's attention, right? That they'll be like, oh yeah, I'll sign up for your newsletter and get a free workout. Right. However, over the last couple of months, it really just morphed into something that I want to give. I just want to offer free workouts to people who have little to no equipment. And I'm modeling it after the Yoga with Adrienne channel. Are you familiar with Yoga with Adrienne?
No.
Okay, so she has like 8 million followers or something crazy on YouTube. And I just love her yoga videos. And so every week for the last, 8 years or however long she's been around, she puts out a free full-length yoga video. And you just follow along with her yoga videos. So that is kind of what I'm modeling this after, so that you can just literally hit play and do a workout. Sometimes it's HIIT, sometimes it's strength. It just depends on, upper body, lower body, core. Today I'm going to film a core workout with 4 different plank variations in a Tabata form. So we'll do 4 minutes of one plank and then move on to 4 minutes of the next. And so it's just my way of saying, hey, you can pay for a service if you want to work out with people, or you can do it for free with me. Either way is good. So the engagement has been moderate. It's been, I've had a few people that have done it and said they really liked it. And then I've had, some have more views than others, but I'm just putting it out there right now to see, if people want it and watch it grow. I watched an interview with Adrienne from her channel. And she said it took them 3 years to get an actual following of people through YouTube that were just doing her workouts and her yoga videos with her. So I'm not really necessarily in it for this quick, like all of a sudden I have 1 million followers. It's more of a long game. Like I'm just showing up consistently, putting it out there with little to no reward right now. But if a few people start watching it or doing it and they share, and then it gradually organically grows, then I'm really happy with that.
The thing people don't think about is, so I watch a lot of things across a broad spectrum of home gym workouts. I watch very few exercise related things that are outside the home gym uh, community, simply because I just don't have that much time in the day. So I'm kind of focused.
Right.
But at the same time, uh, using, say, Beachbody as an example, what people don't think about with Beachbody is Beachbody has a huge marketing arm. So
Oh, yeah.
the reason people know about Beachbody home, whatever the workout is, I don't know, Brazilian butt lift. I'm trying to think of all these things that my wife has at the house. So Brazilian butt lift, P90X, all of these different things, 21 day fix, is because you can't turn the TV on without seeing it, right? And
Right.
so they're actively marketing it out to you. Whereas on YouTube, you have to market this stuff yourself.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times people just don't know that it's out there. And then I think there's a certain level of suspicion when you say, hey, this is just free. I don't want anything from you. They
Yeah.
either think, okay, well, how good could it be? Or you really do want something from me. You're just not telling me. You're like, what's the catch? And people don't realize, hey, look, if you're watching my 20-minute workout video, I'm getting watch time from that. And that, so eventually that accumulates, I'm going to get paid. It's just, I'm going to get paid in a way that doesn't, require you to do anything.
Right.
All right. So you're a big fan of quotes. So tell me, what's your
Yes.
favorite quotes from the past and why from this
Oh,
past
this
year?
is such a hard question. Can I have two? Okay, okay. So I would say if I'm keeping it to just the past year, the one that came to mind the most is it's more of a motto or a phrase, but it's discipline equals freedom. And the reason why is because this year was probably the first year I've ever let myself go. And I put that in massive quotes because you've seen my before and after pictures. I I won't even call them after pictures. It's just the way I'm living now. But
Yeah.
even my before pictures were not awful, and I understand that. But it was not who I am. It was not where I wanted to be in life. And this year was literally the first year that I've ever just kind of been like, whatever, like this year sucks. I'm done. I'm over it. That kind of thing because of, COVID and shutdowns. And I was teaching group fitness, and that was like a passion of mine, and I loved it so much. I had connections and people, and like it was so good. And then in one day it was gone, and it was just like so hard. And so I did, again in quotes, let myself go. And it wasn't until I started the 75 hard program that I was able to find that discipline again that really changed it changed my life. It changed the trajectory of my life in such a massive way because I was able to say I am a disciplined person. I do what I say I'm going to do. And that's how I was before everything happened. I really have had a very I'm a more of a like a type A personality or whatever you want to call it, where I'm structured and kind of like everything's in order all the time. And when I read Jocko, it's from Jocko Willink, by the
Yeah.
way.
Former Navy SEAL.
Yes,
Yeah.
amazing. So I read his book, Extreme Ownership, and it really was transformative for me. But he has that piece in there where he talks about discipline equals freedom. And a lot of times we think of discipline as something that's constrictive and restrictive. And like if we have discipline, we don't have fun. If we have discipline, life sucks. And it's like, rah. But that's not true. That's not true. It really gives you these guideposts to live your life by. And when you say you're going to do something, you buckle down and you do it. And you have faith in yourself and in your capability to follow through. And that's what I learned the most from that. The second one would be the kind of like what I live my whole life by. And that's from the story of Esther, where she was called forth to save her kingdom, basically save her people. And I don't know how many of your followers are Bible readers, but this story has literally, since I was a child, I have felt like I in some way am an Esther. And I don't know what that means. I still don't know what that means.
Okay.
I still don't. But it's like this gentle, soft, like whisper inside of me that's like, you are an Esther, and I'm going to use you one day. And so
Nice.
I literally tattooed it on my wrist. I don't know if you can see, for such a time as this,
Nice.
because I needed that reminder that I am here for a reason. I'm here in this time, in this very year, for a reason. There's a purpose, and it's greater than myself. And it's so easy for us to get caught up in the day-to-day stuff of raising 4 kids. We didn't go over that. I have 4 children. Raising 4 kids and being a wife and running a business and starting this and doing that and cleaning the house. It's so easy to just get caught up in those little things and forget that we, not just me, but we were made for such a time as this. We were put on this earth for 2020, for this year, for a reason. And we need to step out of ourselves sometimes and think about that greater purpose and that greater calling. And that's my constant reminder. So that's like the quote that I really cling to as a life quote, I guess you could say. But that's the one.
I like that thing about Esther because, okay, so for people who don't know, Esther was married to the king who attacked Sparta. And so he had just lost to the Spartans and comes back home, and he's upset, and he divorces his previous wife, and then he marries Esther. And so she understands, hey, look, I'm here because this guy wants me to be his wife, but he's the king of an empire. So if I do anything to make him upset, he could just get rid of me and I could be gone. And she's called upon to step up at a time when she was Jewish, at a time when the Jews were in danger of being slaughtered. And what I love about her story is not just that she had the courage to go and say something to the king, despite her own personal fears. And she's also going to be outing herself as a Jew when he didn't know, but also because they had enough of a relationship for him to stop and listen to her when he's got all this other stuff on his mind. Like I said, he just lost a significant battle against the Spartans, and now he loves this woman enough to stop and listen. And that's one of the things I value about my wife, is that sometimes I'm in the hustle and bustle of things, but she's able to get me to stop and listen. Like, hey, look, this is important. So you told me your quotes, and a lot of people love motivational quotes, but then they don't go any further than smiling and sharing it on social media.
Right.
As we wrap this up, as we're talking about the Sandbag Queen Academy and what you're hoping to do for people and what you have been doing for people, how do you get people to go past the good feelings from the quote to actually take action and then continue to take action, not just for that one day, but for the next 3 months and then day by day for the rest of their lives?
Yeah. Well, I think it all starts with them. You know, you can say all the right things, you can do all the right things for other people, but if they're not in a place where they're able to receive it, it doesn't do anything for them. I mean, it plants a seed. It does do that. It kind of gets some sort of motor running or kind of chugging maybe. But if they're not willing to receive what you have to offer, it's like the Bible says, it's going to fall on hard soil, and the plants, the roots won't take form in that soil. However, when there are people in your life that are kind of at the cusp of change, and I keep thinking of one of my clients who became a great friend of mine. When she came to me a couple of years ago, she was definitely in a state of depression, which she didn't know. Like she couldn't name what was wrong with her, but she was overweight and she was unhappy, and she was just like, yeah, I just want to lose weight or whatever. And so we started talking, and I started taking her through a coaching, more of a mental game coaching. Now today she is like she still puts into practice all of the things that we talked about 2 years ago. And she just is amazing. But she was in that space where she was ready to receive the, I don't even want to call it motivation, the tools, really, the tools to change her life. So to answer your question is really challenging, because I really don't believe that you can force people to do, you can persuade them, but then it's still short term if they don't buy in to the truth of what you're telling them. Because I can give you all the tools you need. I had all the tools I needed this year. I didn't put them to use. And I bring that up in the videos that I put out for the Academy through the courses, because your knowledge is not what helps you. It's your application of that knowledge 100%. And your willingness to say, I am where I am because of my choices. It's not because of, it is huge. Wow, it's not because of COVID. It's not because the gym shut down. It's not because my kids are stressing me out. It's because of my response to those situations. Because when COVID happened and the gym shut down and my kids were stressing the crap out of me, I ate food. I ate too much food, and I ate crappy food, and I gained weight. And that is the progression. And so to say, well, it's COVID's fault, no, it's not. And the very first step is understanding that you are where you are because of the choices that you have made. And the only way for you to get out of those choices, out of that situation, is to make new choices. And I can tell you what you should be doing, what will help you, what will make you lose weight, and all the stuff. But if you don't put it into practice, it's not going to do you any good. So that is like key. That's the cornerstone of everything, is understanding that you are the problem. And that's a good thing, because that means you're the solution.
I want people to be able to get more from you, and we're going to put links in the description for this video. But please tell people how they can follow you, how they can keep up with you if they want to be part of the Sandbag Queen Academy when it is available. So how can they follow your training and everything else?
Instagram is the place to go for me, at the.sandbag.queen. You can follow me over there. Send me a message. Don't just follow me and then like crickets. I want to hear from you. I love messages, and I am not a robot. I will get back to you, a real person. So please message me, comment, interact. Instagram is great. I'm on Facebook. I have a Facebook page, but it's a little like, I don't know what I'm doing with it yet. It's there, and I don't know. I don't get a ton of engagement with Facebook. So like, if you want to join the party over there, you can. It's also the Sandbag Queen. YouTube is just starting and budding, and kind of, I put stuff out, the longer form workouts that we talked about that you can actually just hit play and go. You do have to have your own music, which I think is not a problem for a lot of people. They have Alexa and all these other things. You can play your own music while you work out. And that's preferred, in my opinion. I want to pick my own music. So I would imagine other people do too. But yeah, I coach you through the whole workout, and I'm encouraging and motivational. I was a group fitness instructor for 9 years. This would have been my 9th year until the shutdowns happened. And so it's very natural. I just love it. I love coaching and instructing and helping people get a great workout in. So those are the places that you can find me. I did just start a parlor, which is new, and I'm getting
the parlay.
Used to
Your
it.
parlay.
Is that what you call it? Okay.
Yeah, it's French.
Oh, well, there you go. I feel so fancy now. Parlay.
Okay.
So, and that's also the Sandbag Queen. So basically that's where you can find me everywhere. And I would love to connect with you if you're watching, and just be there for you as you go through your health journey. It's hard. It can be so challenging to be a mom and find your fitness again after having kids. And so that's my heart. That's my passion. But for anybody who wants to join, I'm just you know, kind of, I'm here, man, I'm here for it.